Hey, what's up, good people? It's Jay Ray, the co host of Q Points, and I wanted to come to you because there are two really important ways that you can support our show. One is by subscribing to it wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts. Q Points is pretty much everywhere. The other thing that you can do is you can visit us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Podchaser, and you can leave us a star rating. Please rate us 5 stars because you know you love Q Points. And on Apple Podcasts and on Podchaser, you can actually leave us a written review. It's not required, but it really does help to spread the word about the show, and it helps people to discover it as they're looking for new podcasts to listen to. We're always appreciative of you supporting Q Points. We thank you so much for all that you've done for us so far, and enjoy the show.
Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Q Points Podcast. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is Jay Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III. What's happening, people?
Listen up here, y'all. Gather round to this here podcast because we're about to have an amazing show. Jay Ray, first of all, I got to say it was a treat to see you in person during our live recording here in Atlanta. We had an amazing time. Thank you so much for doing everything that you do, for making it just an amazing, amazing experience and podcast, especially for our guests and for the people who came by and listened to and watched us live at JB's Record Lounge.
Yeah, man. I am grateful as well. It was good to see you. It was good to see all of the folks. I was telling our guest as we were back in the green room that every show is really cool because we always introduce the show to new people. And so the majority of the folks that came this time were new to Q Points and hadn't heard the show before and were really like tuned into the conversation that we were having. So I want to say thank you to you too, because not only were we just like, I love the way that we're able to work together to make it happen, because we had a whole moment, y'all, where I could not figure out how to make something work. I was stressed. I couldn't get the camera going. It was a lot, but we made it happen. In addition, you, Sir Daniel, listen, gave the kids life at Superbad and Erotic on Saturday over at JB's as well. So that was a good time. And I want to take a second to thank JB for just welcoming us in and allowing us to do Q Points in that space, because that's a super special environment.
It absolutely is. And we're literally treated like it's home. When we go there, we're treated like family. And I continue to wish JB all the success in the world. And again, thank you to everybody who came out and checked us out live here in Atlanta. But Jay Ray, before we get into this fantastic show and this particular episode, I know the kids are going to be waiting to hear what we have to say about this, but I'm also super excited because one of our cousins is back. One of our family members is back in the house. He's joining us after, it feels like a couple years now since we did our country music series. But Big Mike is back, and I can't wait to talk to him. But Jerry, before we bring him on, please let the folks that are watching right now, listening right now, let them know how they can keep up with Q Points and all the wonderful things that we're up to.
Absolutely. So, of course, all of y'all heard at the top of the show, we definitely encourage you to subscribe, leave reviews wherever you can. So if you're listening to this show or you've listened to other shows and you haven't left a review on Apple Podcasts, on Podchaser, or on Spotify, you should definitely go ahead and do that. Also, we have a new feature on our website at qpoints.com where you can leave a review as well. So if you visit us at qpoints.com, you could do all the stuff over there. We have transcripts of the show. We have playlists. So we have our playlist coordinator Shout out to Sunny B, who has joined the Q Points family and is our playlist curator. So Sunny B is getting up to speed. So if you go check out the Salt and Pepper Show, you can also listen to the playlist. So that's first and foremost. But if you're hearing our voice, subscribe. Share it with your friends and family. If you like Q Points, they will like Q Points too. Y'all can go a step further. Visit us at magazine.qpoints.com. We cover a lot on Q Points, but we don't cover nearly as much as we actually talk about behind the scenes and getting ready for a show. So if you want a little bit extra, if you want to join over on Q Points Mag, that's where you can get more opportunities as well to kind of stay connected to Q Points. And last but not least, you see these dope buttons that I have here, right? So these are in our store. So if you visit us at store.qpoints.com, you can not only buy merch, including our Slow Jams Can Heal Us merch, which is out now. You could also pick up some buttons and a mug. I normally have a mug somewhere, but I've drank all my coffee today. A mug, bags, the whole nine. So do all of that stuff. Support your boys. We love you. We're happy you're here.
Absolutely. And you know what? They would want to support us because, J Ray, I'm going to say something that might be controversial. I don't hear. Q Points podcast, not only do we drop the needle on Black music history, we are also visionaries. 2 years ago, no, seriously, 2 years ago, we set out on an adventure with our guest to produce a was it a how many episodes was it?
4 episodes.
A 4 episode series on Black artists in country music 2 years ago.
Yep.
Now follow me, right? And here we are 1 week after Beyonce dropped Cowboy Carter Act 2, which is I'm going to say what she said. She said it's not a country album, it's a Beyonce album, which I think is a very important point to make. But yeah, let's just talk about it. Cowboy Carter is here. And of course, it's not without its controversy and it's not without its praise.
Yes.
But what it doesn't have is it doesn't have yet the Q Points stamp of approval. And so we're here to talk about it. And we cannot do that without our good friend. And Jerry, why don't you do the honors of introducing our guests and friends to the show?
Yes. So I want to do this while our guest is on the show. So I'm gonna bring our brother Big Mike up. What's happening?
What's up, Big Mike?
What's happening, guys?
Welcome back. I wanted to bring you up because I'm about to big up Big Mike. All right.
Yes.
So
Let's do it properly.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So 2022, I made my I think it was my second trek to LA. No, it was my first trek to LA, I think. And to the podcast movement. So Q Points, we had a session at Podcast Movement called Building the World You Want, which was about being independent podcasters and, building our platform so we have a home. Well, went to BIPOC Podcast Creators event and Big Mike was there, right? So we're at this bar, Big Mike is there, and Crystal Hill is there. We're all chatting. We're in a group. We're chatting, and I'm getting to know Big Mike. And Big Mike is like, "Well, I was like a DJ on country radio," and I was like, "Oh, well, hey, because Sir Daniel and I have been talking about doing something country related, right?" And so I want to do two things. Because since that time, Big Mike is an award-winning podcast producer. So let's just keep it a whole bean, okay? Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for sprinkling your sauce on Q Points because that series that we did is what we submitted to get our Ambie nomination.
Congratulations on the nomination, guys. That was awesome.
Yes.
I'm glad I could be a part of that.
Yes, man. So I wanted to do that properly and say thank you. Welcome back. Big Mike, what's going on? How are you? Tell us what's up in your world.
It does feel like years since the last time we've all had a conversation, and it's good to be back. I appreciate you guys reaching out to me about about this album that's kind of set the whole world, not just the country world, like the whole music world on fire. So
Mhm.
I I had been me and my wife had been talking about it, Lucy, and then J Ray texted, and there it was like divine intervention. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have an opportunity to talk about this to somebody else
Right.
other than Lucy. So it's good to be back. Definitely a little bit heavier with a couple of awards, which is very surreal to me. When I set out to podcast like over 10 years ago, being an award winning producer was definitely not something that I even fathomed. So to be here and get it, it's humbling, because I feel like just like other podcasters, we all work hard, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Work hard for little payoff, for the love of doing this, and just putting your thoughts and ideas and feelings out into the world so you can connect with other people. It's a beautiful thing. And so podcasting has brought me a lot, um, because I had such a love for radio. I
Yeah.
did. And then I realized podcasting brought me so much more. So
Mhm.
I am truly appreciative. I'm humbled, and I truly appreciate you two gentlemen, because that series, that country series that you guys we collaborated on, was probably one of those crown jewels to me,
Mhm.
um, for for multiple reasons. Just for that little black kid who grew up and felt like he was an other
Yeah.
in in the world. So I am truly grateful for that opportunity, and I'm glad to be back talking with you fellas.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Before we move on, Mike, please let the people know the name of the podcast that you worked on and that you received an award for. Please let them know.
Mhm.
So I currently work on, along with my producing partner, and she used to be my boss. Her name's Crystal Hill. She's like a legend in the podcast game. Like
She is.
she's
Facts.
like a superstar, and she's a great mentor. And the podcast that we're working on, with Lisa Wolf, or Stitch Please, she just recently won an Ambi. So she's put in a whole heck of a lot of a work to win that Ambi. So shout out to Lisa, and
Yes.
for allowing me and Crystal to help propel her forward. So it's been awesome.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing. That's amazing. We love to see the home team win. Anytime one of us wins, it's a win for all of us. So definitely congratulations on that. But without further ado, let's get into it. Let's crack open this bad boy. So Cowboy Carter, Act Two. The follow up to Renaissance, of course, which was Act One. Renaissance, of course, delved deep into the dance
Mhm.
music era. It tapped into different eras of that dance music, specifically disco and house. Definitely tapped into the ballroom culture. So we had a lot of subgenres being celebrated in that album. And then, of course, in true Beyonce fashion, she toured. Uh, she blew everybody's minds with the tour, and then went away and was like, "Okay, guys, peace. I'll see y'all next time." And but then in true Beyonce fashion, oh, well, I may as well tell y'all that here's Act Two. Just get yourselves ready. I gave y'all a little breathing time. Here's Act Two. She announced it during the Super Bowl
Mhm.
with a commercial, and ever since then, people were like, "Oh, this is it's gonna be country." Because we hear Rhiannon getting
Mhm.
banjo prominently, excuse me, on the lead single Texas Hold'em.
Mhm.
And then, in true Beyonce fashion, the controversy starts. So
Yes.
let's just get into it. So let's start off with impressions.
Mhm.
Has everybody had a chance to listen to it? And if you have, what are your first impressions of the album?
I'll jump in. I'm dying to, Mike, I'm dying to hear your thoughts. So I'm just going to jump in
okay.
now. I have listened to Cowboy Carter, and I will say a couple of things. I was going to talk about this, but this is probably going to come up now. Um, One, I was surprised at how intimate. how experimental and intimate it sounded at the same time. I will say, upon first listen, I enjoyed the record. So, all of you should know this. You might know this by now, but when I listen to music, it's about how it feels first. And then I try and go back and like analyze what's actually happening. Like, what do I like about it? So, upon my first listen, I was like, oh, this feels good to me. So, like the record. When I dive in deeper, I love all of the nuances in the album. The interludes crack me up. You have Willie Nelson on interludes, which I think is the coolest thing ever, as well as like Dolly Parton sprinkled throughout. So there's all of these callbacks to like country traditionalism through a black lens. Like this is like a black album. And even from a country standpoint, when I think of like country artists, I'm like, oh, this is the blackest country album. And the most I hate the word urban, but I can't think of another word to use.
I hate that word too.
I hate that word. Oh my God, I really hate that word. But y'all get where I'm going. Like I felt like it took all of the sensibilities of hip hop and R&B and put it into a country album that feels both country and all of these other things. So saying all that to say, I enjoy Cowboy Carter. Is it my favorite Beyonce record? No. But it is an enjoyable record, and I can see why she says it's a Beyonce album and not a country album, because it does feel like a Beyonce album. So that's me.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Upon first listen, I agree with that statement of her saying that it's a Beyonce album, because it sounds like a Beyonce album to me. But I do love the little nuances. Like back in our original country series, I said that we have a way of innovating in a space.
Mm-hmm.
And the album feels like it's pushing a genre forward, right? And because I mean we can talk about that, but like it also is, it kind of goes, well, if Beyonce's doing it, everybody else, it kind of just, it's kind of like what she did. And I don't want to compare it to Charlie Pride, but it kind of opens that door that if someone of that caliber of Beyonce is going to step in and do country, right? And everyone thought it was a joke when she mentioned it. I think she mentioned it in like an interview or something like that. Mm-hmm. And everybody thought it was funny. Beyonce and country, what is it going to sound like, right? And just upon listening to it, you can tell that she really went out of her way to make sure she hits up these OG people that have been in the country game for a long time, because she understands that she's stepping into country. She's been in R&B, she's been in pop, right? This is another genre that she's stepping in to, and country can be controversial. Right?
Yes.
Especially if you look like us.
Exactly.
It becomes immediately controversial.
Yes, indeed.
Which is why our series that we created 2 years ago is so important. Because that series, I say we're foundational to country music. And by her entering country music and putting out a quote unquote country album, right? She's saying, hey, this is our music too. And if I can do country, others can do country too. Not that there weren't people in that space already, right? But a caliber of Beyonce, someone who tours the world over and over and over again, loved by millions of people, right? And so I think she kind of goes, hey, look at this genre. Look at these young black people in this genre. I may have put out this album, but don't, just because I did it, don't leave the genre because I left the genre and went to go do another album. Stay right here and enjoy these people that have been putting in the work. And I hope that's what she thought about when she created this album, but I feel that as well, right? There's a track with Tanner Adele on there, right? Mm-hmm. And she's put out stuff like Back Road, and I just listened to Buckle Bunny, and I'm like, this sounds country, but this does not sound like traditional country. So I, I didn't mean to go long winded, but it surprised me to listen to it and just listen to all these influences, and it still be Beyonce. I think
Yeah,
that's the thing, is that it's still Beyonce. It doesn't feel like she's trying to perpetrate something else. She's just like, hey, I'm gonna innovate in my space. I'm gonna keep it my vibe, and I'm gonna sprinkle in these country roots because she's from Houston. So she's
exactly.
Yep.
it's not
Yes, indeed.
right. She's from Texas, so it's it. I partly I think it's funny that there's so much controversy around it.
Right. And see, we're gonna and we'll get into that. So I'll quickly share my thoughts upon listening to the album. So I so like everybody else, I was intrigued. And it didn't surprise me because I was like, Beyonce is going to do Beyonce. And what because she keeps her immediate circle, like she keeps the dream on hand,
Hmm.
Serious the dream, she keeps him nearby, you know,
Raphael Sadiq.
Raphael Sadiq and Swiss Beats, people that
Hmm.
she's worked with before, and people that she feels comfortable with. So if they're there, she's gonna feel comfortable. She's gonna be in her pocket no matter what she does. Um, it's it's clean. It's it's it it sounds good. When I say sounds good, I'm talking about from a technical aspect. Like you hear things, and it seems like you can hear something new every time that you listen to it.
Hmm.
Um, Chock full of it's a lot more interludes than what I'm used to, but like you said, it was funny. I love her nod to radio
Yes.
because there's a nod to radio as well. So all the three of us in here can appreciate that. And like you said, she's setting up the girls, the people that are in the black young people that are doing country music now. She kind of said, hey guys, I'm doing this. I need you to hop on this platform because once I do this, I'm handing the baton off to you, just like Mike said, and you all are gonna run when you get this opportunity. And I love that. I already have a favorite that I can't wait to talk about. But what I love most about this album, I think Smith said this on Jonathan Capehart. She said this is an Americana album, and it's so
Mm.
true because not only do you hear do you hear Texas, but there's California soul all up and through there. There's Louisiana, of course. Alabama, all the stuff that's east of the Mississippi, you hear all of those different things. So it is a shining example of how you do country the Beyonce way and make it modern. And so, I've never bought a Beyonce album like immediately, and this is the first time that I've done it. Somebody when the digital dropped, when the self-title came out, somebody gave it to me, so that doesn't count. But I purchased this album because one, I knew we were going to talk about it, but I was also very curious, like everybody else. And so here we are, as Mike alluded to the fact that we knew it was coming. There
Mhm.
are articles now. This is not country. What Beyonce is doing is bastardizing country music. I read a review where somebody literally said, "I please keep country pure, pure."
We see you.
We know what pure, we know what that means. Keep country pure, because and people are attaching country music not only to the people that are known to perform it, but they're also aligning it with values
Hmm.
and political viewpoints as well. And so that's where we're getting a lot of the pushback from. But I just want to throw that out there for everybody. Are I know this is a dumb question, but are we surprised at the pushback? Are we surprised at the dog whistling that we've been hearing since this album has dropped?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Mike, I'm curious too, from coming from one, being a lifelong country fan and coming from country radio. This has been throwing people into a tizzy, right? around, traditional country stations. Like, do we play the Beyonce? Do we not play the Beyonce? Like, what do we do with it?
J.
Were you
Ray,
about to?
the Cadillac records. Tell them about.
So, Sir Daniel, this is hilarious. So, Sir Daniel just sent me a tweet today, Mike. I don't know if you've seen this, where the one country station, so a traditional country artist decided to make Texas Hold'em again, and they're playing that. They're not playing Beyonce's Texas Hold'em. They're playing this other version, this non-black version of Texas Hold'em that Beyonce didn't do on this radio station. We will pull that tweet, y'all. This is not a joke. This is real.
Say the quiet part out
That's
loud.
wild.
They are saying the quiet part out loud for real.
That's wild. Why? I mean, you have the original. Like, why not just play the original? Like,
It's too black and it's too female.
Oh, so
that
Mike,
part right there. Yep.
that part. Can we talk a bit about, from your perspective, right? School us a bit about the politics of country radio from your vantage point, not, of course, naming any names, and
Sure.
why it's hard for black country artists to end up on country radio.
Well, from my personal experience, it's hard because you're in a place that there's nobody reflecting you back to you, right? One of the reasons I got into radio and specifically country music in radio is, one, I loved country music. Two, I thought about a guy named Jimmy Allen, right? And I thought about a guy named Darius Rucker who kind of crossed that line, right, and really cemented his feet in the country genre. And I can imagine them just walking into rooms and interviews with people that don't look like them, who don't understand their experience, who doesn't understand what it is to move through this world as a black man, as a black person, as a black woman. And I wanted to be that. I wanted to be that person. And to not just be that person because I'm going to be some token. It's because I actually love the genre.
Right.
And I enjoy country music. And so I felt like they needed to be interviewed by people who had that love, who want to be in the space. And but it's hard to be in that space, right? Like, I was at a radio station, and now that I have a little bit of distance and have a little bit more of a vantage point of my experience, I realized that I don't think they were ever going to let me off weekends. I think that was never the plan, right? Because how can you let this black guy represent this country station, right? And I believe that people like one of the people I knew in DC, her name's Ty, she's on air. I think she saw past that, right? She was the one that gave me my first opportunity to be in an apprenticeship on air. And I think she saw that. And I saw another guy, his name's Bryant Moe, and he saw past that too. But I think eventually, right, the program director can only do so much. It's got to be approved by other people above the program director. And they're about projecting an image, and country isn't black, right? By their standards, country isn't black. Country is white. So it's why we continue to see a lot of black radio DJs in the space, because you get outrage, like, people being upset about Beyonce being in the space. And so it's tough to navigate that and to continue to go, well, how can I not take this personal? Right? I think I'm as good or better than some of the people that are on air. Why am I not getting those same opportunities to move forward and all of those things? So it's a tough genre to be in because there's so much behind it. But I liken country almost to NASCAR, right?
Okay.
Bubba Wallace. I've gotten into NASCAR recently. Me and my wife have gotten into NASCAR. We watched Bubba Wallace's documentary on Netflix called Race, and it's about him entering and changing the landscape of NASCAR. And so people like Tanner Adele, Raina Roberts. These are the people that are starting to change this landscape, entering it, understanding that they are all automatically going to be under attack, and going, "Hey, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna put out the music. Either you like it or you don't." Right, and then it's up to the people um that for Black Liberty that kind of gatekeep to go, "Hey, these guys are a part of this too." It may not sound like a Willie Nelson or a Morgan Wallen, but they sound their country too, and so it really takes that. And so, what I got from that race documentary is that sometimes you just kind of have to take a stand and go, "Hey, we're going to draw this line in the sand. Either you're going to accept me or you don't." And then other people have to kind of take up that idea and carry along with it. And I think the fact that people are debating Beyonce is like, I think people are going, wait, maybe she does belong in this genre. Like,
Right.
if she could pull off a record like this, we're like, oh, maybe it's okay. And then to put these lesser known people like a Tanner Adele on your album, I guarantee you, you can name 5 people who have never heard of Tanner Adele until Beyonce put her on her album. I can guarantee you, a lot of people didn't know who Shabuzi was, right?
Raina
Those
Roberts,
are those names. We got these young Black artists. There's a guy named Jack Ross, who is a fantastic R&B singer, right? But even he is going, "Hey, I'm going to enter this genre, and I want to be in the country," because I think not that the door was cracked. I think Beyonce kind of is trying to blow that door open. And so it's hard to navigate that space when there's nobody else that looks like you in that space. And so it's hard to get in there, especially if the gatekeepers don't look like you.
I think she's doing this on purpose because exactly what you said. Let's just say it. This was like a grudge album for Beyonce.
I do think she was like, "Oh,
'cause
they didn't want me on that stage at the CMT."
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she was like,
Because they thought it was a joke. They
Right.
thought it was a joke that she was going to do country. And so what she did was like, "Oh, it's not a joke. I'm very serious. Here's the album to prove that I'm right."
yes, exactly.
There it is.
And it's almost like they're mad. It's almost like they feel like we're appropriating their culture. I wonder where that come from. It almost feels like appropriation, and I wonder why they're feeling like that. No, but seriously, Beyonce, this album represents what this country has been going through as we see books being taken out of libraries, the erasure of the discussion of even race and culture in our schools. A lot of they want to take away, they just don't want to feel, a lot of people don't want to feel bad, or they feel like if you have these discussions or you have this separation or this highlighting of Black excellence and Black culture, that means this is inferior, and they don't want to feel bad because it makes them feel bad. But what you are doing is erasing history, and what she is saying, somebody like a Beyonce is a big threat to them because they know her reach. And they know that if she says it, it's a wrap. Then everybody's going to want to do it. Everybody's going to get into it. There is not going to be a space, a corner on this earth where that Black woman is not going to be heard or seen. And they're very mad about it.
Sir Daniel, you raised such an important point, and I had not thought about that as it relates to kind of even the title of Cowboy Carter, right? We're in this moment of this division where you're right. All of this history, this important history, isn't able to be taught anymore, isn't able to be talked about. But if you have a record like Cowboy Carter that exists, you're forced to reckon with, right? You're forced to reckon with Black culture. You're forced to answer questions about history. You can't not do it because, Mike, going back to what you said here and what you said as part of the special, we are foundational to country, right? When you talked about the Ford Bailey being the Grand Ole Opry is the Grand Ole Opry because the Ford Bailey was coming in there with that harmonica and sounding like a train, and you realize like, oh wait, there was nothing before, it didn't exist before that. You have to reckon with all of it, you know. In a way, art has a way of speaking to people in ways that books and all of these other things, the news and all of these things cannot do. Beyonce's record though will force conversations that folks are definitely going to be uncomfortable needing to have. Why don't you like the Beyonce Cowboy Carter record? Sounds like a good record to me.
People, I feel like people want to keep people in boxes, right? Like, I think that's the Zach Brown band. He basically announced that he was no longer going to be like, I'm just going to stick in country genres. And as an artist, being put in a box is the opposite of what you're trying to do as an artist, right? And so people are like, well, Beyonce should just stick to her kind of music. And I'm like, what does it matter if she's feeling country that day? If I'm feeling country that day, I'm gonna play some country, right? If I'm feeling some R&B and I want to hit some 112, I'm gonna play some 112. If I'm feeling some Seven Dust and I want to hear the rage, I'm gonna play that too. And so I feel like we always trying to put these artists in boxes, and we're like, stay right here in your lane, don't do anything else, right? And then people go, well, why aren't they doing anything else? This all sounds the same. Because you want to keep them there, right? And so, like, I think I saw somebody in the chat say that they wish publications would just highlight Black artists in every genre and not just one or two, right? And I agree with that statement, right? Like, as a Black man, I just don't like Black music. I like all music. Whatever's going to be a bop and I can rock my head to, that's what I'm listening to that day. Right. And so it doesn't matter if it's country, rock, neo soul, pop, whatever the case may be. Right. I feel like as an artist, especially someone of Beyonce's caliber, she's done all these other genres. Right. And she can do them. So why not do country, especially if you're someone who is from Houston, who has those roots to be in that genre. I just don't think we should be gatekeeping other people in genre. If Morgan Wallen wants to go do an R&B record, go for it. I don't know how good it'll be, Morgan, but if that's what your soul is telling you, if that's what your spirit is telling you, go sing your little R&B, man. Like, do what you got to do. I just don't feel like we should be putting people in boxes. And I think that's where the controversy comes from, is what is Beyonce doing over in this country stuff, right? And so, but Dolly Parton, who is like Queen Country, right? She's done other genres.
She's
no
like
one
her
has a problem with.
None. Her new album is basically like a rock record.
That's what I'm saying, right? Nobody's like, Dolly shouldn't be doing rock. People are like, oh, good for her, right? At her age, she's doing a rock record, right?
Yep. Nobody
one
questions.
of Dolly Parton's biggest hits. No, one of Dolly Parton's biggest hits is not even a country hit. She wrote it, right? And so I just think people just need to relax with this whole keeping people in a box thing and just let people create. If you don't want to hear it, don't listen to it.
Exactly.
If that's not your vibe, don't listen to it, right? If you want to stay in a certain kind of country, cool. There are subsections of country. There's bluegrass, all that stuff like that. Listen to it. But if a Steve Martin can go put out a bluegrass album, why can't Beyonce put out a country album?
Like, I'm glad you said that. So Dolly Parton, nobody questions Justin Timberlake, and when he wants to do R&B, or if he wants to go do his Wild Man Canyon music, nobody questions it.
There are two types of people in the world: those who complain about the state of today's music, and those who dig. I'm Jason Randall Smith, and I invite you to check out Radio B-Sides, Both Sides of the Surface, a music podcast championing the work of independent artists from around the way to around the world, with a primary focus on Creative Commons licensed music, Think of this show as a never-ending virtual crate dig through a parallel universe of online labels, seeking out the hip-hop, soul, jazz, funk, and electronic music gems that are often hiding in plain sight, and hopefully demystifying the world of Creative Commons along the way, one song at a time. You can find Radio B-Sots wherever you listen to podcasts. For more information, visit the website at bsots.com. That's BSOTS.com.
In the comment section, Trey Dixon again said, and I want us to talk about this. Black targeted radio station music publications should have highlight all Black artists from every genre instead of focusing on one or two genres to beat us over the head with. What is the responsibility, or what can Black radio specifically and our Black outlets who are in this moment in time, Black outlets really need to check themselves, but that's a whole nother different show. But in this moment, what can Black radio do? Because I know here in Atlanta, V103 was doing, which is a heritage, it's a Black heritage station here in Atlanta. V103 was playing the record, the Cowboy Carter, and they'll do that sometimes. They'll play the whole record and, you know, let people experience it and, you know, talk to the people about it and whatnot. Let's talk programming. You know, Mike, you're a radio head. Let's talk programming. What does Black radio need to do in order to say, you know what, we need to start supporting all of our artists regardless of the genre that they're in?
Yeah.
I think they just need to be consistent. Yes, Beyonce's got the hot album right now, and you want to play it because people want to listen to it. But what are you doing to help support this genre after Beyonce leaves the space?
Right.
Are you playing Raina Roberts? Are you playing Tanner Adele? Are you playing these other Black artists that do country? Are you playing them? Because then you're just here for when it's hot and not here for the long haul. And so I think part of it is getting people who actually like the genre in the building to talk to the people, to explain it, right? To just go, hey, this is this new artist, Tanner Adele. She's trying to, she's in the country genre. Just be able to talk about it like you would talk about these other genres and this other music and these other artists. I think it's about support. And I think that there is a reason why there is no Black run radio, a country music radio station.
But Mike,
at least to my knowledge, I haven't seen one yet.
Let me throw this out to you real quick, Mike. Doesn't that take a certain type of bravery, right, to do these sort of things when we all know radio, especially in this day and age, radio is very rigid, right? It's most radio stations are owned by a particular corporation, and there are certain things and guidelines that they have to do. And so can we really expect commercial radio to exhibit that kind of bravery when it comes to incorporating, these up and coming artists, especially these Black artists that are reclaiming country music and putting their heart and soul into it?
Yeah, I really think that it does take a lot of bravery, in my opinion. I know when I worked at WMZQ on the East Coast, shout out to Ty Bailey. She's one of the best out there program directors at WMZQ, and she was one of the first people to actually play Jimmy Allen on the air, right? He's got Jimmy Allen and all these other white, just playing and programming him heavily. Brought him in for the concert, had him in the station. Like, it's those type of things that I think other program directors and other radio stations need to do, right? Is support these smaller artists. Because now Jimmy last year was everywhere, right? You couldn't get rid of him. I got sick of seeing him, right? And then he blew up his own ship. But that's another story.
Right? And then
But
yikes.
But the fact that MZQ can say that they were on the forefront of really helping Jimmy's career by having him around and playing his music and bringing him in the station and talking to the people, Like, to me, that's support, especially when there weren't a lot in that space when he showed up, right?
Mhm.
And he broke records, right? Best Shot, one of the top singles of that year, broke like a record that Michael Jackson held previously, I believe, or Charlie Pride, excuse me, I believe. And then so it's about support. It's about being brave in those spaces and about going, hey, we're gonna play this. We're gonna play it until you get sick of it or you like, right? You know what I'm saying? Like they do with
Yeah.
these other artists. And then eventually you're like, oh, this is kind of catchy after you've heard it 50
50
million
million.
times.
Mike, I think going back of all the conversations that I think are really important, I think it is this conversation around. I'm less interested in, this is Johnny speaking for me. I'm less interested in white stations playing the Beyonce record, even though I know that's a thing. I would really, where I think the magic is for me, is I do want our black radio stations to begin to break the mold and embrace the fullness of all of the things that we do really well. Country is one of them. Like we talked about when we did the special, when I heard the Warren Treaty record, I'm like, I have no idea why WDAS in Philly is not playing this song. Like y'all, like there are so many songs, right? And so it gets me thinking. So, Sir Daniel, we're all familiar with this. In the, you know, the 80s and the 90s, there would be that block of time where you could hear hip hop. That was all you was gonna get. You had your block. This gonna be your block is probably gonna be real late, but you gonna get your hip hop in, right? Why is there not a rock show on most black radio stations in the country? Why is there not a country show? There's typically a gospel show on Sundays, right? Breaking this mold of, and this is where the racism, Mike, you talked about this during the special, where music got segmented, where the powers that be in the 30s and 40s said, okay, y'all folks do this over here, y'all do jazz, be over there, and blues. We gonna be over here in country and bluegrass and Americana, even though the songs that they were singing came from from us, and they was gathering them up, right? You know what I'm saying? These songs, right?
Yeah.
The point is the magic that I'm hoping, it didn't happen with Renaissance, and I was actually disappointed, where I was hoping that post Renaissance we would get a resurgence of house music on radio as like more of a regular rotation, like not this I played on Saturday nights from 10 to 2 kind of situation. It kind of didn't happen that way. I am hoping maybe with Cowboy Carter that, to your earlier point, Mike, it it kicks that door open enough to say maybe we can do this, because there are so many great artists over here doing this work. Yeah, we weren't able to accomplish it with the house stuff, but maybe this country thing, we can play that a little more regularly and get folks who listen to classic R&B can also listen to Raina Roberts and all these other folks. You know what I'm saying? So that's my real hope out of all of the Cowboy Carter talk. Yes, the record is great, but how are we going to take it and push this thing even more forward within the culture?
That's the key, is being able to carry on after the moment, right? After the moment is passed, what are we doing to continue to carry that and make real change in not just country music, but in music period, right? How are we doing that? Are we supporting these people? Are we listening to them when they put out something? I'm not saying you're gonna like everything that they put out, but give it a try. You might run into something at this point. But I think slowly we're starting to do that. Like, even to your point about Warren Treaty, Warren Treaty showed up on wrestling the other day. They sang
Really?
God Bless America. Yeah, they sang God Bless America before a WWE match on a PLE. And then they used their song as one of their theme songs for one of their pay-per-views. So like it, like I'm like, oh, Warren
That's
Treaty.
major. That's major.
fascinating, right? Like, and so they're an active part, but I think it's just a slow burn, and we just have to just keep keep the pressure, keep moving forward, and continue to support these people and not go, why is she in country? Why are they in country? Why are they doing this? It doesn't matter. This is their album. Try to listen to the album, right? See what you can like out of this. But and it also takes them to stay there. Don't get pushed out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just about support. I can't say that enough about black artists in country, especially country. Support. That's what they need. We need to show up for them, like we show up for these R&B concerts and these hip hop concerts. Right? Let's support them the same way.
Absolutely, and
Mic drop.
exactly. We needed to have you, Big Mike, on here to punctuate that for us. And so, of course, A1, glad to have you give that to us and give that to our listeners. But before we go, we're Q Points Podcast. Like it or not, J Ray, we are tastemakers. We are,
Indeed.
people want to hear our opinions on certain things. So I do want to hear, like, just rattling off the top of you guys' heads, like, what tracks stand out to you the most on the album so far that you really, really like?
I have my two. I think I have two. Mike, if
Okay.
you want to go, that's fine. I have mine.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm pulling up the tracks right now.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see
All right.
here.
So you want me to go? I'll set
Go
it
ahead,
off.
Sir Daniel. You go. You set it off.
If you've been following me on social media, you already know my number one song on this album is Bodyguard. Bodyguard is, oh my goodness, I don't know what kind of magic, what kind of hoodoo, as the kids say, it got crack in it. That song has had me in a chokehold from the very first time I hit play on it. I'm getting the spirit of Marlena Shaw. I'm getting the Fifth Dimension,
Yes.
the Mamas and the Papas, and of course Fleetwood Mac on that song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so groovy. That's what I was talking about, that California country soul that song has. That song is everything, and people are being introduced to Fleetwood Mac now because of that song, because it's so heavy on the the rumors tip.
Mm-hmm.
That album. But I love Bodyguard. And of course, I love Riverdance because, well, I'm a bird. I'm a bit of a bird. I'm a bit ratchet at times. And as a DJ, I can't not listen with DJ airs.
Mm-hmm.
So Riverdance, of course, hops out at me because it's fun. It's ridiculously fun. And I think we need more of music like that. We need more music to stretch us, one, but still have fun. We still have to have fun. So those are my outstanding two tracks right now. And so J Ray, let's hear yours.
Real quick. So I just added one. See, I'm adding stuff because when you look at the track list, I'm like, oh, I like that. My number one is Protector, though. I've been very clear. Listen, I love me like an acoustic ballady thing that's going to tug at the heartstrings. Yeah. And then it has the Protector and then Projector thing. I love when people do like a lyric thing like that, where it's like, oh, I see what you did there. So Protector featuring Rumi, you know what I'm saying, is pause. I am very encouraged by how Beyonce includes her children.
Absolutely.
In the process. Like watching Blue, her summer was on tour. You know what I'm saying? When Blue got back to school, they was like, so what'd you do this summer? I was on tour.
I went to work. That's what I did. Yeah.
I went to work.
I went to work.
So Protector with Rumi is my number one. Love Bodyguard. But since you picked that one, Two Most Wanted with Miley Cyrus, you can't listen. Me and Miley, we see each other. I see her. I mean, we see each other. Like, I get it. So if Miley's on a joint, I'm probably going to lean like I want to lean in and hear that joint because I'm into Miley Cyrus. So that one, Ya Ya, I think is really fun. It has that Beatles sample in it. It kind of gives you the
The Nancy
rock,
Sinatra
yeah, the
sample.
Nancy Sinatra sample and the rockabilly. It does all of the things. I was actually surprised. My one surprise was that Raphael Sadiq didn't produce that record. I was like, oh, this sounds like Raphael Sadiq definitely produced this, and then he did not. So I was surprised by that. And then my last, Two Hands to Heaven. I really like Two Hands to Heaven.
Good one.
You know what I'm saying? It gives me a little two-step. I get to do a thing. So yeah, those are my favorites. And I added two because I looked at the track list and was like, I love them. What about you, Mike? What did you like that came up
Most
for you?
Wanted is definitely one that really caught my ear. Like hearing Beyonce and Miley's voice together, like as they sing that, I'm like, man, that got me a little bit. Like it gets to you a little bit. I enjoyed that one, and then of course I got it Just for Fun with my boy Willie Jones on it. Like
That's a great
I love
track.
that one too. I enjoy that one a lot. So, but I just love that she's just like like this Blackbird with Tanner Adele, Brittany Spencer, Tierra Kennedy, and Raina Roberts, and I'm like, bro, that's a lineup right there.
Right.
Like you could take these people on tour with you, Beyonce.
Yes.
I would show up for that
I'm
concert,
sure she.
right?
I think she is.
But
She
Yeah.
probably will.
I'm there for that one. I don't pay Beyonce prices, but I might for that one.
I mean, you get a hefty lineup, right?
Right. But and the other thing is Jolene is what stood out to me as well because of the word how Dolly allowed her to change the words of her song. Right? We've only know, and I'm sure that is probably one of the biggest people are outraged by that one the most. How dare she change the words of Jolene? This is what we've known for the last 50 years, and I'm like, that just shows you the influence that Beyonce has, right? And Dolly Parton understands that, so you're like, yeah, go ahead and change the words of this song, right? This well-known song, people singing it karaoke at this
Yes.
point. So I just think that this album was just done really, really well, and I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. So I'm definitely here for it. But yeah,
Hey, real quick. So, Mike, you said something very important about not paying Beyonce prices, and that brings up to me the so a lot of the Hive is concerned about the new fans that this album is attracting. What do you all, based on what we've seen with the Renaissance, right? The concert, the tour, what do you think a Beyonce show is going to look like as far as the audience is concerned now that this whole new audience is brought in? Because there's new people. There is going to be new people in the fold, y'all. Y'all are just going to have to accept it that are coming that will be buying up tickets too. What do you think about that? And the intermingling between, this new audience.
You know, Mike, I definitely want to get your thoughts on this. And Sir Daniel, I did not know you were going to ask this, and I had not thought about it. But, we are in a time where you can just turn off people who don't think like you, look like you, do what you do in the way that you do it. You can we're literally in a time where you can cut them out, right? What art does is it forces us, baby, music is universal. Like, you don't know who coming to get the music. You know what I'm saying? And the people who come and get the music, like, well, you came here to get the music, so that must mean you okay. I came here to get it. You came here to get it. We here together getting it, right? So I have not been more encouraged about people getting into a room together than I am about the idea of who heard Cowboy Carter and will show up at that show wanting to get what Beyonce is going to give them, and having to mingle with people who are OG Beyonce folks or maybe new folks, because there's a bunch of new people coming to this record because the songwriting on this record, yes, it's got some Beyonce tropes that Beyonce does certain things lyrically. But it's got a lot of beautifully written lyrics on this album that are like, oh my God, this is well done. So, new people from all walks of life. So, saying all that to say, I'm encouraged. I want us to all get in that room and sing and do the things that we want to do together. And maybe we'll leave better. Maybe we'll leave
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that. I mean, that's the wish, right? The hoop dream that people just come to a concert to enjoy a concert, especially Beyonce prices. Like, why are you gonna show up, pay all that money, and just act stupid? Like, it
That's
just doesn't make sense
ridiculous,
to
right?
me, right? Like, but I hope that new people who have been brought in by Beyonce, that the old Beyonce fans open them with go, welcome. We've been here. We've been waiting for you. Come join us. One of us, right? Like, I want it to be that way, and I really hope that people go, all right, okay, Beyonce, I see what you're doing out there. And that last album went for me, but this one's mine. It's my time here, right? And so I really hope that that people coming together, just enjoying music, right? Enjoying country music, whatever you want to call it, right? Just enjoying music and have a good time. And I hope that this album just brings people together. And I think that's her. I think like I would like to think that is her idea, is that this is supposed to kind of help erase those lines
Mhm.
between us and them, and go, hey, I can do this too. If you enjoy me, maybe you'll enjoy this as well. So that's just the hope. That's the hope. That's what I pray for.
I'm with y'all. But my thing is, look, you all have months to practice. Please don't come in here messing up the electric slide. Whatever you do, get that electric slide down pat, because when you come to the show, at some point or another, there is going to be a slide moment. We don't need anybody messing up the continuity of the electric slide or any slide dance that takes place at this show. So get it
So
together, folks. That you have time. You have time, and I know, and slide dances go well with a lot of country music.
Oh
So
yeah.
this should be a no brainer. And you know how I feel about slide dances and my wanting to know about their etiology and where they come from, but that's a whole nother show. But I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, y'all. This has been fun.
This has
yeah.
been so fun. Mike, thank you so much for being here. So, before we get out of here, where can folks find you? Where can they connect with you online? Let the folks know what's up.
My socials at the True Big Mike, without the in True, on Instagram and not Twitter, X. Um, if you're interested in podcasts, check out Stitch Please with Lisa Wilford. That's a really good one. So I hear. I also work on a couple of other award-winning podcasts. One is called the Love the Amazing Clarks,
Mhm.
and Soul Affirmations. You guys know that you're familiar with Soul
Kariga and
Affirmations.
Felicia. Mhm.
Yeah, with Krieger and Felicia. And then we have Reparenting for the Culture, hosted by Cherie Sims. So if you have some time, check them out. Like, that's usually what I'm working on. And then currently working on a new show with my wife called Chunky Love. So that's going to be coming soon. So I'm not hard to find, right? If you're looking for me, I usually show up. So
Yes. Listen, man, we are so grateful for you, Mike. And for those of you, shout out to all the folks that joined us. I see James Peoples is in the chat. No, Black Stations did not play Jada's metal band.
Wicked
and
wisdom.
they should have.
They should have, because was it
Should
Wicked
have,
Wisdom was what they're called?
Wicked
Yeah.
wisdom.
Yeah.
But but have you seen what Willow has been working on?
Willow is killing the game.
Crazy, playing all these instruments and scatting. That's
Listen,
amazing. That's
if Beyonce does that rock record next, call Willow. But yo, shout out to Mark McPherson, shout out to Dr. Ed Garnes, Trey, Payadu, Joshua Alston, shout out to who has a great new article in The Reckoning talking about Gerard Carmichael's new reality show. So go on over and check
That thing is wild.
Look, go check out
That thing is
Joshua.
wild.
Please check out Joshua's article. Yeah, man, like this is Mike, always great to have you. So for those of you that are tuning in, thank you all so much for being here. Subscribe wherever you are watching. If you hear our voice, make sure that you hit the subscribe button there. Share the show with your friends and family. That is the way more people can discover Q Points. Definitely sign up for our magazine at magazine.qpoints.com and shop our store.qpoints.com, where you can get all kinds of merch.
Absolutely. Fellas, what do I always say? In this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or let the record play. I am Cowboy Daniel.
I'm Cowboy J Ray.
I guess I'm Cowboy Big Mike, right?
There you go. This has been Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We will see you on the next go round. Peace.
Peace.